Welcome back to Access Anime. My name is Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a walkthrough review of Hakkenden 8 Dogs of the East, Episode 5. Now, if you remember from last episode, we find out both Kei and Kenpachi have the beads that Ryo's been looking for. Now, one bead is called Brotherhood, while the other bead is called Faith. Now, we're taken to a different scene with Saren. Now, apparently Saren, along with the Brotherhood, has attacked Shino and the rest of the gang, just at random. It's like, wow, I kind of didn't see this coming. So Saren attacks automatically right away after he finds out where Shino and the rest of the guys have been hanging out, and he has the rest of the Brotherhood with him, so they have a full-on attack. We see arrows being launched. It's kind of interesting, so things just got interesting. However, yeah, Saren's been defeated by his brother Kanam. Are you freaking kidding me? So apparently Kanam is Saren's brother. So I'm wondering, what was the birthright that Kanam took from Saren? Because remember, Saren went into this little monologue thing about how his brother took his birthright away. So Kanam, what was this birthright? Was it money? Was it power? What was it? I'm just interested to know. Now we are taking to a different scene toward the end of the episode with Kenpachi. Now apparently Kenpachi is in love or is showing interest in Shino? Huh? He's into little boys? But again, that's where the episode ends, and I'll hold my final thought and rating at the end of the clip, so stay tuned. But let's dive right on in. So we open up this episode with Shino. Now, apparently Shino has entered a room with two snakes that's like embedded into the door, per se, like right above the door, and he enters in this room. God knows what he's really there for. He just stumbles across this room, and it looks like he's by himself, but we see Ryo. Ryo appears right behind him and scares the shit out of him. Now apparently Ryo goes on to explain that other people are on the other side of this house. They own it. So he's not the only one that owns a house. There are other people that own the house? Really? I wonder what their rent is. Just put that out there. Now we're taking to a different scene with Ryo. Now he's throwing a little bit of information at us. So apparently he tells Shino that Mayoko, which is, Saren's master, has suddenly retired? Huh? So Mayoki has retired all of a sudden, and apparently Saren has disappeared. I wonder why. Come on, you've been defeated by your brother. We know why, obviously. Now apparently, since their master's been retired and Saren's now gone missing, the Brotherhood now has bigger things to worry about. However, Ryo leaves all of a sudden to go to church. Yeah, Ryo, after he's done explaining all this to Shino and whatnot, he has to leave all of abruptly to go to the church, and we really don't know why. So we're taking to a different scene with Kanam. Now Kanam's actually explaining to Shino that Ryo is the head priest of a special ward in the church. So it's like, he's a priest? Really? Don't look like one. He's a little he's a little more handsome than most priests, if that makes any sense. That's me being in a non-gay way. I'm basically saying that this character known as Ryo, he's kind of an attractive character, but really, he's a priest? And Shino comes to the same conclusion. Really? He's a priest? I was like, yeah, it doesn't feel right, but it's the truth. I mean, he brings in the green, or should I say he brings in the money for the church, per se, based on his good looks and what he represents. Now we're taking to a different scene with Shino, and he's basically telling Kanam that on the 29th of every lunar moon, when the moon hides itself, is a special day for him, as well as a special day for his other two friends. Apparently, Mersume goes quiet, while, Sasuke, he just complains about how sleepy he is. So on the 29th day of every lunar month, when the moon itself is, gone, that happens? Huh. Usually I just, scratch my ass and eat my bonbons. No, I'm just kidding. But still, that was interesting information. Really has no relevance, in my opinion. So we're taking to a different scene with Sasuke. Now, apparently he's asleep and he's having a flashback, or should I say a dream, of Shino when he was, 5 years ago. Apparently, Shino was told at a young age that he would never become an adult. He was going to die young. I was like, well, that's horrible news to tell a kid. You're going to die young. Especially since he has to pretend he's a girl until he's 15, because that's his village tradition. So dying while pretending to be a girl because of fricked up traditions, really? Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so, man. And eventually we do see Sasuke actually wake up from his dream, and Shino is in the same room as him, right on top of Sasuke, and he's like, this is like one of those brother complexes, like, brother. I was like, but I'm not going to go there. It's just like, okay, Shino, I know you were forced to dress up as a little girl as a child until you were 15 because of your village traditions, but you kind of look like you're gay right now. You're on top of what appears to be a grown man who's waking up just to, like, I don't know, you showing him signs of affection, or you're just trying to be supportive. I don't know what it is, but it's just a gay scene in my opinion. But still worth watching, definitely funny in my opinion. So we're taking to a different scene with Shino. Apparently Shino's just running through the halls, or should I say he's walking through the halls on the other side of the building, which Ryo told him not to venture into, because he's kind of hungry. Yeah, I'm kind of hungry too, but I wouldn't have done that. Yeah, food for thought there, buddy. But anyway, sorry, I digress. So we're taking to a different scene with Shino, and he runs into Ion, which is this new character, which I'll go into later on who she is. And she sees, you know, she drops her flower she's holding, and she automatically sees Mersame, which is, you know, on Shino's arm, or should I say his hand. It's like a little eyeball that's popped out, and it freaks her out so much that she beats the crap out of Shino, and she runs the other way, dropping her flowers automatically, you know, and just running away. Well, that's a way to say hi, or how do you do? I mean, literally. It's like, punch, running away. That's funny. And to make it a plus side, she's an attractive character. She has like silver hair, not gray hair, but silver hair. And I love characters with silver hair. But sorry, I digress. We are taken to a different scene. Now, apparently, Shino is being filled in on who this girl really is. Now, her name is Ion, obviously, and apparently she's a member of the 4th Beast Clan, and she was chosen by the Snake Gods. I was like, or a Snake God in general. I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Okay, so she's also a freak as well. Sorry, I know I labeled her as a freak. I'm just, you know, putting that out there. It's kind of funny though. Ironically, she's the one with the power, and she's scared of, you know, Shino. Funny how things work. If she was a blonde, I'd be making fun of her, but since she has silver hair, I can't make fun out of her. So we're taking to a different scene with Hamaji. Now, Hamaji gives Shino like a basket full of flowers, and well, surprisingly, Hamaji wants Shino to replace the flowers that, you know, Aeon actually dropped in general, and also she wants, you know, Shino to ask Ion out, so I guess Hamaji can have tea with her. So I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense, but isn't that like a death sentence, since this girl, you know, probably her guardian might beat the crap out of him for what he did? It looks like it. It's kind of like a death sentence. Now we're taking to a different scene with Shino. Now he's caught in a trap with a barrier, technically, and apparently he's being told that he entered without permission, even though he was going to give the flowers to Ion in general. So this is just got interesting. Now apparently Shino sees Ion's guardian, which is, you know, supposed to be the snake god, but she's not in snake god form. You know, she's in a human-like form. And again, you know, this is what Shino's seeing, and it's kind of freaking him out, but I thought it was worth mentioning. And again, he's being told, you know, you entered without permission. I'm like, well, you can't knock on the door. There's no door there, and there's like no doorbell. Like, hey, guardian, I'm coming over here. It's like, that doesn't exist. Like, okay, so we're taken to a different scene with Sasuke, and it looks like this guardian was about to kill, you know, Shino in general. However, Sasuke jumps right in and says, I'm sorry what, you know, Shino did. He's apologizing. He doesn't have to, but he is. Because, you know, fear of, you know, Shino being killed by this guardian. Because this guardian supposedly is one of the gods that actually is vengeful. So like, okay, so definitely a power to be reckoned with. So again, Sasuke is apologizing for what Shino did. However, this is kind of like something I didn't see really coming. Like, we see this guardian, and she's like, I want your arm as an offering in general. That type of attitude is like, you just want to cut off Sasuke's arm as an offering? Huh? That doesn't seem right. Give me your leg for being a bitch. How about that? How about them apples? But that's not what really happened, though. All we know is this guardian wants Sasuke's leg as an offering, and apparently Sasuke was going to chop it off. He had no problem. I'm like, dude, I know you got like this dog spirit inside of you, but that doesn't mean you have to be like one. Obedience comes at an extent, you know? You don't have to be obedient to your enemies. I mean, hell, I would have cut and run. Kidding me? Chop my leg off? Screw you, buddy. That ain't gonna happen. But, you know, we are taken to a different scene with Ion, and she sees what's happening, and she jumps right in, and she appears, and she basically tells, well, her guardian, no, this is cruel. You can't do this. No. You are so cruel. I'm like, okay. So we do find out Sasuke does not have to have his arm cut off, thank God. So that was kind of worthwhile noticing. Now we are taken to a different scene with Hamaji, and this is kind of like later on. Now apparently Ion gets to have a tea party with Hamaji, so they're buddies now. So I thought that was worth mentioning. Now apparently Hamaji, she wants to go to the festival with Ion. So I thought that was interesting. However, Ion points out her guardian might not let her do that because, you know, she's weak and whatnot. She's, you know, that kind of person. I'm like, your guardian sounds like an SOB. Kind of, you know, definitely an SOB. So we're taking to a different scene with Shino, and apparently he's actually been seen talking with Ion's guardian, And apparently her Ion's guardian is basically telling Shino that she cannot grant any of Ion's wishes. I'm like, well, why not? Apparently Ion's weakness has been the object of her protection. So, literally. So apparently this is also why, you know, Ion's guardian's so bitter. You know, this is why she's an SOB apparently. But, you know, I really don't know what this real weakness is. Is Ion has a disease or something? To be honest, we really don't know. Other than apparently her guardian's the only reason why Ion's actually alive right now. That's about the only thing we have to go on. So we're taking to a different scene with Shino. Now apparently Shino's explaining to Ion's guardian that, well, why not use the Osaka clan's foxes? I mean, they're very soft-hearted toward girls in general. Why not? You know, that's kind of interesting. Now, while they're having this open conversation, we see Kanam and Ion eavesdropping in the background, and, well, Kanam actually tells, you know, Ion's guardian that, yeah, my foxes can help in general. You know, they're very soft-hearted to girls. Yeah, why not? And it looks like Ion grew a pair of balls, figuratively, and jumps up, basically says, she jumps up and says, you don't have to keep protecting me. I'm a big girl. But those are my words, not hers, though. Just putting that out there. You know, she kind of steps up and says, you know, just do this for me type of thing. And it looks like Ion's guardian agrees. Now we're taken to a different scene, more or less later on that night, between Hamaji, Ion, Kanam, and one of the foxes. And it looks like they're at the festival. They went to the festival, so I thought that was interesting. So it worked. Now we are taken to a different scene toward the end of the episode with Shino. And Shino is basically talking to the Guardian. It looks like the Guardian came out of nowhere and surprised Shino, and they're having a one-on-one conversation. And this Guardian, she's being very thankful towards Shino. Apparently she reveals her true name as Hibiki, and she's actually in her real snake form. I'm like, could be worse, you know, could be like a black python ready to kick your ass. Instead it's like a silverish, whitish type snake, and her name's Hibiki. Interesting name. And apparently Hibiki is now Shino's friend. And again, that's where the episode ends. As for my final thoughts, well, first of all, are we going to see more of Hibiki in general? And is Hibiki going to be one of Shino's allies now? However, as Hibiki has pointed out, she can't really leave the house because of how big she is. I still don't understand that, to be honest. Moving on past that, we really did not see any of Kenpachi. I mean, last episode he had a love interest with, you know, Shino, and this episode there he was nowhere to be found. We don't see Kei, we don't see, you know, Kenpachi. They're like gone. Now, as for Sasuke, I'm wondering, is his little thing done with, where he's done sleeping, because, you know, this is the 29th day of the moon or whatever, the lunar moon, so, or the lunar month, whatever it's called. So I'm wondering what's going to happen in the next episode. Are you going to be like ready to go? Like, what's your next mission? So far we have 4 beads that have been found between, you know, technically Shino has one, Sasuke has one, you know, Kei has one, and Kenpachi has one. That's 4. So where are these other 2 beads, and who are their owners? But again, that is it for my final thoughts. Not a lot out there. I didn't want to make it too complex. As per my rating, 3.5 out of 5. The fights were not there at all, obviously. I wanted to see one between, you know, Shino and, well, obviously, you know, Hibiki. That would have been interesting. But no, there is nothing. Was there any drama or romance? Not really. Maybe between Hibiki and Ion in general. You know, that maybe. I mean, I thought there was going to be more drama between, you know, Shino and Sasuke. You know, he was right on top of him when, you know, Sasuke woke up. Like, that was just very a brother complex moment. It was like, bro, like, brother. I'm like, I don't know. I was like, ugh, I'm not going to get in there. But the drama was kind of there. Was there any new information? New characters, yes. But other than that, story-wise, no. So again, that ends it for my rating, which is, again, 3.5 out of 5 in general. And again, that is it for my walkthrough review of Hakkenden 8 Dogs of the East, episode 5. But definitely comment down below, let me know, thumbs up, thumbs down, definitely subscribe, check me out on Twitter, and follow me if you like. But again, guys, let me know what you thought of this episode, and let me know what you think's gonna happen in the next episode that's coming out. But again, guys, that ends it for now. I gotta hit the bricks. I got one more special video to make. Depending on when this is uploaded, it might be, who knows, you know. So again, that ends it for now. And before I go, I gotta say it, and I always say it. You can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.